Hello everyone, my name is Elli Manoogian-O'Dell and I'm a GA with Academic Innovation at Western Oregon University. And today I'm just going to be talking about accessibility when it comes to creating pages on Canvas and the different tools that Canvas already provides to make sure that your pages are accessible to all students. So what I'm going to do in this video is just create a page and add content to it and talk you through each piece of content and how you can make sure that each piece of content is accessible to all of your students. When we talk about accessibility, we usually talk about students who have disabilities, but we're also definitely talking about all of your students. For example, when I talk about the different types of text tools that you have and can use, we're going to be talking about students who have low vision, but we're also talking about students who might be accessing your courses through different devices or in environments that are really bright or really dark. So accessibility on your online courses affects everyone, and it's important for every single one of your students. So we're just going to start by creating a page, and we're going to hit plus page. And I'm going to call this page test because I'm going to delete it later. I've actually already created this page. It looks like this, and it just has lots of different content that we'll go through. But to get started, I have that top image that I wanted to add just to make my page look nice, and I have already uploaded my images into Canvas, so I'm just going to hit course files and add that picture. The next thing I'm going to do is add text, and I have my text right here. So the first thing to do when you're copying and pasting text from somewhere else is you want to make sure that Canvas is recognizing any bulleted lists as bulleted lists. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of the bullet and I'm going to add it manually with Canvas. This might not be a necessary step. It might have recognized it when I pulled it in, but it's always good to be sure. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I have some links that I want to add to my text. So in this introductory paragraph, I talk about Joseph Campbell, and I want my students to come and explore the Joseph Campbell Foundation. And so I'm just going to copy that URL, and then I'm going to hyperlink it onto Joseph Campbell's name using the external link button. And I am in the way here, so I'm going to move to the other side of the screen. And when it comes to links, it's really important that you embed your links into actual text of your page instead of just copying and pasting the link like this. That's because if a student has a screen reader, then that screen reader is going to read every single letter in that URL, and that would just be really frustrating for anyone to have to hear www.jcf.org, so on. So all of our links are going to be embedded into text. And then if I have down here, so then the next link I have is to watch this introductory video. The text tells the students what to do, so that's the text that I'm going to use. And we're just going to use that same external link button and put our URL in. And then the last thing we're going to do is make sure that all of this text was copied into Canvas as paragraph text. If I wanted to add any type of headers, the first H1 header is going to be the name of the page, and so every header you use after that, you're going to want to use it in numerical order. So the next header I might use, if I want to say, call this an introduction, I would use the H2 header. And then let's say the 12 steps, I want that to be an H3 header. And so the next thing that I'm going to show you is a table, and that comes after the 12 steps. And I want this table to look like my table that I made here in Word. So it's going to have 3 columns, and then it's going to have 13 rows, although I'm probably not going to create the whole table just for the sake of this video. But the very top of the table is going to have headers. So let me create the table here in Canvas, and we use these 3 buttons, and then there's a table icon right here, table, and then you can click, I want 3 columns, and then I'm going to just do a random amount of rows. And so then I'm just going to add the headers for my table. And then I want these headers to be, let's see what we were at, H4 headers. And then I'll go ahead and speed up the rest of the video as I fill in some of the steps on the table. Okay, so I added all of the things in my table, and I'm just gonna go in and make sure that these are all the font that I want them to be. And it looks like it's gonna be Lato is the font that this one has been using, but I actually am gonna change all of my fonts on the whole page. Let's see if I can highlight everything here. And I want to make the font something that is going to be easy to read for everyone. So fonts like Helvetica, Courier, Arial have all been shown to be easy to read for people with dyslexia. But these are also, all of those fonts are also just really easy to read for everyone. And it's good to use fonts that are simple and that your students won't find distracting. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off this table by highlighting it and going back to my table menu and changing the table properties. So this is going to make it easier for everyone to tell what's in the table if it's not loading properly for whatever reason. We're just going to hit show caption. Going to go ahead and add a description of what the table is. So it just says this table describes the 12 steps of the hero's journey. And like I said, that just makes it easier and in case it doesn't load for whatever reason. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that extra row. And then I'm going to add some more text telling students what I want them to do next. So there's an assignment associated with all of the information on this page. And I am going to show you a different type of linking, and that is a course link. And I've already created an assignment called Diagram a Story. And so it's just going to link it very easily to that page. So we're going to come back up here, and I actually want to add another image. Course images. And this is going to be a graphic representation of the hero's journey. I want it to be a little bit smaller, and I'm also going to put it in the middle of the page. Somehow. Maybe I'll put it in the middle of the page. There we go. So this is an image that's actually important and I want my students to pay attention to. So let's say someone has either a screen reader or maybe even their internet isn't functioning at a level that's going to allow them to load images very well. If their computer can't load this image, then it's just going to show it as a broken image, and that can be really frustrating for students if they don't know what it is. So the way to get around that is to always fill in your alt text. And I'm just going to put a diagram showing the hero's journey so that students know what it is even if they can't see it. And we're going to hit done. And then we didn't do this already, but we have this image up here. And this image isn't as important. It doesn't really matter if the students can or can't see it. I just think it's pretty. So we're just going to go in here and we're going to check this box that says it's a decorative image, and that way if it's not loading on the screen or if a student's on a screen reader, it just won't even show up at all and the student won't have to feel any type of confusion or like they're missing out on a piece of the course that just really doesn't matter. So we'll hit done. So the last thing I'm going to show you is just this little accessibility checker right here, and this is going to pick up on a lot of the stuff that I was talking about as I was going through everything, but I'm just going to show you what that looks like. So we do have an issue already on this page, and that has to do with the table. So when I click on it, it's going to show me issue 1 of 1, and it's telling me that the table should include at least one header. And that is because I did not set the top row as the header. So we're going to hit header row, and that will be the first one. And then we fixed all the issues. So that's just a really helpful tool when it comes to making sure that your page is accessible if you can't remember every single thing when it comes to adding images or links or everything else. So I'm just going to save my page, and that's it. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions.